trust me, you're going to be in pain. Okay, same thing. Now these sometimes they stick, they're a little bit bigger. When they're used multiple times, when you're using it for a rodent, sometimes this plastic piece, it breaks. See, it's plastic, it'll break back there, then it's not usable. That's why I use the Victor, because you can use it more than once. Sometimes the spring comes up, but it's rare. Okay, but the same thing concept here. Snap, see? Now it's ready to go. What happens is the rat comes, dips his nose down at this. You see the little cup in there. The bait goes in that little cup. So want to make sure you get the bait. You can put the bait on the actual lid itself, because that's where the trigger is. Okay, so when the rat presses up against it, it just snaps down real quick. Good thing about these two, these are dark. Rodents can't see very well when they're roaming around. Their eyesights are very blurry. So what they base things on is a pheromone, a smell. So they smell that something's in there. Or if you reused it before, they smelled another rat's been on there. So if another rat's been on there, then you have a greater chance of catching more rats. They don't base things on sight. They base things on the smell of another rodent that is safe to go on. Rats are different. Mice are curious. They'll just go on and get caught. Now, I've caught mice in these traps before, because mice are a little bit easier to deal with. But you got to remember, mice are very small. If they get their face on this big one here and the trigger's up here and they just lick off the bait, then you know you have mice in there. That's when you want to use some glue boards, because you want to monitor what activity you're going to have in the crawl space before you're going to do any closing up of your home. Okay, first step is going to be closing up your home first, and we'll get to that on my next video. Closing up entry points, vents, air conditioning units, those type of things basically is going to help control your environment inside. This is only really to slow the process down. Rodents do not stop coming. They keep coming until you block their ways of entry. It's going to take you some time. You got to remember, my finger is for the mouse, 2 fingers are for rats. Okay, they can squeeze in between a quarter. If you got a door gap about 2 inches like that, the rat can just go underneath it. So make sure you got door seats on your door, on the exterior garage doors. Make sure your door seats on the garage doors are really good. You just got to make sure all that's tidied up, because once they find it, then they're going to kind of just keep coming. Okay, same thing concept with this. This one slams down a little harder. The same thing. All I do is this, and I just hit the trigger like that, and that's it. Closes. Okay, we also have, set it to the side, we also have another thing that they use for commercial. Now you can use this inside. You can buy these at any store, Amazon, anybody that sells pest products. This one here is called a tin cat. Okay, now you have to get some tin cat glue boards, of course. Now you can use this inside. I don't recommend it using it inside your kitchen or something, unless you just don't want to see anything get caught. Again, glue boards go in here. Okay, so if you're not a person that's a fan of those, this is not going to be for you. This is more garage. You can put this in a wine cellar, basement, somewhere where you're not going to step on it, or you're not going to see it. If you're dealing with mice, okay, normally mice, you're going to know that they're there, because they're going to try to hit a certain spot. They normally just don't roam around. Only at night they come out to look for food and everything, but they're going to be really close, 20 feet away from where their home's going to be. So they're not going to go too far. Rat has to go out for water, 100 yards. They have tons of real estate to run. You got to remember, if they're in your house and they've already penetrated into your living space, that means your living room, kitchen. What that means is that it's going to be harder to catch it when it's in your living space than it is when it's in a crawl space, or you're trying to find that it's gotten into your attic. You know, it's not easy to find all these spots, because everybody's home is going to be different. There's different builds of home. I've dealt with wooden roofs, metal roof, Spanish tiles, all type barns, sheds, you name it. I've seen it, I've done it. They're all different. Okay, you just want to make for sure that if you're going to do this yourself, you have to look at every aspect of your home when it's a rat, because it has multiple entry points that it can come through. If you have a deck in the back, deck is the #1 notorious. If you got a deck and it's really low and you got pipes and things that are running, you want to make for sure that those pipes are closed up. You can get mice in there. Okay, sewer pipes. It's a lot of different things, and we'll cover that on another video. I'm gonna show you guys what I normally do when I'm dealing with closing up holes. going underneath homes, things of that nature. We'll get another video. Okay, this is called a tin cat. Okay, commercial uses these. So what you want to do with these is basically the glue board goes inside. Okay, it just sets in here. You see it just slides in here. It's made perfectly for tin cat glue boards. You can find those at your local hardware store. Okay, you notice they have two little flaps in here. Okay, two little entries in here. Okay, so what happens is mouse goes inside, whips around this little corner, then it gets stuck. Okay, this is also a good thing for commercial restaurants that we use these for too. A lot of times businesses have roaches. We use these and put the glue boards inside so it's discreet from, you know, employees. It's never in the view of customers. They don't even know that these are there. We normally kind of just hide them under, you know, restaurant equipment, but this helps monitor if you have activity somewhere. Okay, the glue boards work pretty good if you have pest issue, you know, roaches, things of that nature. You can use those to help monitor how much activity, but ultimately you're going to need some service, you know, to get it under control. Okay, and it depends on, you know, where you're living, apartment complex. If you have single family home, harder for apartment complex because there's multiple units. You can't just do one unit. You have to really kind of see all units to see if they have activity, because normally if one does, the rest of them probably do. A lot of times people are not going to be informative and let, you know, management know we're having an issue. So that's where the monitor boards kind of play a good part. We don't use the tin cat there. We just take the monitor board itself. It folds up. On my next video, I'll show you guys what the monitor board looks like and the glue board. Like I said, most of the time people don't want to use these things. They're just monitoring tools. They're not made to solve the problem. You're going to need professional help if you yourself don't have the time. You can do it yourself, but you got to know what you're doing. And this is what I'm doing here today is giving you first knowledge of what I do. I've done this for 13 years. Okay, so I've worked with major companies. Okay, I still work for pest control. This is just me helping people, because sometimes I want people to see that it's not just spraying around the house and then we're gone and we collect money. Maybe some companies do that. I don't. This is not what I do. I want people to see firsthand that it's more than what you're signing up for. There's more than what we do. Okay, next videos I'm going to show is going to show how we kind of fix some vents and screens. I'm going to show you guys some products, what to use for ants and different pests inside. That'll be on my next video. Thank you, and thank you for watching. Take care.